So the final use case that we have is sort of a little bit of a twist. It's same, but a little bit different. So we have, in this case, a medical diagnosis researcher workflow, where in this case, where we're still doing in phase one some kind of evidence gathering, and then in phase two, some analysis. But in the third, we're going to be doing clinical synthesis, but importantly, some of the tools that we're using are going to be slightly different. So in this case, in phase one, we're using a Scholar paper search. So in previous use cases, we had used maybe Google search, solely Google search or internet access. In this case, we do have Google search still, but we are going to be required to look up additional evidence in scholarly papers. So here, phase one literature search is really important and distinguishes this specific use case from the prior use cases that we had looked at. And again, the final outcome of this in phase four is some kind of diagnosis report. So again, we're going to jump right into H2O.GPT and we're going to explain a little bit more what exactly this workflow looks like. So I'm back in H2O.GPT and I've put my prompt in. So we're going to have a quick overview of what exactly is in the prompt and do a bit more of a deep dive of what each phase looks like. So again, just to reiterate, we're setting up an agent. We're giving it the persona of a medical research assistant. And what we wanted to do is compile current evidence supporting clinical diagnosis and management. In this specific case, we want to generate a comprehensive research report on fibromyalgia, which is a specific disease that we want our agent to look into. So in phase one, in the literature search, again, what's really important is that we want to gain the latest and greatest systematic reviews and meta-analysis specifically published within the past 3 years. So again, we want it to be up to date. Also, we're going to be wanting to look at, of course, landmark studies and as well source treatment efficacy studies. So we want to be able to also in our report generate possible treatments. In phase two, we're going to be doing some evidence analysis. So here we want our agent to, of course, evaluate the methodological quality, access strengths of evidence, prioritize higher level evidence, and as well extract key statistical measurements. So in this case, we're telling our agent in the report, put in some statistical measurements so you can actually back up your findings. Finally, in phase three and four, we're going to be doing clinical synthesis. And then finally, there's going to be a research report generation. So in phase three, that is more about synthesizing information, maybe using higher reasoning tools to ask a model like GPT-o1 or maybe even DeepSeek R1, what does this clinical information mean? So that's going to be questions that's going to be given to more powerful reasoning models, perhaps. And then in phase four, we've given it a few details we want exactly to be in our report. So again, we executive summary, but this time we're going to have some additional new topics such as clinical recommendations. And of course, we want to highlight all of the research that we've done previously. So treatment evidence summaries and as well merging research directions. And as well, some final guidance. Again, we're reminding the agent that this is all about creating evidence supporting fibromyalgia diagnosis using recent scholarly literature. So right before we jump into this, I'm going to set up use agents in H2O.GPT, go into my configuration, and I'm going to set agent accuracy this time to maximum. So I want to generate all of the evidence and I want to do the best analysis. So I want my AI agent to run for the longest amount of time. And then with our tools, I'm happy with all of our tools. Notably, we have internet access, but we also have, in this case, Scholar Papers Search. So that's going to be really important to leave on. So closing that, we're going to launch our agentic flow. So right off the bat, our agentic analysis is starting up. So we can see that the agent is starting. If I go out of show thoughts, we can see it's still at step one, but already it's starting to utilize some tools. We can see that things are off to the races and there are a few more steps that have been executed. What's interesting as well, we can look at some sources to get an idea of what the agent is actually looking at. So in this case, we can take a look at this academic article maybe. So this time it's loading up a PDF. So again, I've clicked on a specific source here and I'm taking a look at what exactly is happening. So in this case, it's pulled up a article about cancer screening. So it may not be super relevant, but we can see that it is using that scholarly article search in this case. So it's looking up some more sources. So here we already see that it's self-corrected itself and has more fibromyalgia studies. So we see that that's good, and we can already be sure that it's on the right track. So if we go into showing thoughts again, we can see what it's up to. But for the moment, I'm pretty sure that it's going to be researching and executing the right task. So I'm going to step out a minute and come back once the agent has finished. All right, so we're back and we can see that the agent has generated a fibromyalgia research report. So here we can see that it's generated an executive summary. It's also put here some diagnostic frameworks, pathology update, and as well, what looks like extensive treatment advice summary here with as well some clinical recommendations. So this is all good and all, but of course, there's always more improvements to be made. So already I'm thinking that I maybe want some more detail on the current understanding here, and as well the core diagnostic criteria. I want more information into how all of these were sourced. So I can go into the prompt bar and actually continue prompting the AI agent to extract even more information and generate an even better research report in that sense. So for the moment, I'm happy with what it has now, but of course, we can continue to iterate and continually improve the report that the agent has generated. So with that being said, we're going to swap to some other use cases in different industries with, again, a different style that moves away from research generation to more the aspect of combining both generative and predictive AI. So we'll see how that works. We'll see how that works next.